if there's anybody out there that has a pivot that keeps plugging nozzles with pieces of rust, they need to check their goosenecks up on top. We're fixing a Zimmatic pivot. This pivot has been giving us trouble for years, and we have some neighbors that have had the same problem. They mentioned it to us last year, and that's where we kind of started investigating based on their tip. And Heinrich is the main repair guy. So these goosenecks are rusty inside. See all the rust falling out of that pipe? And so we have to get them apart, which is very fun. Yeah, a lot of them are actually, the threads are breaking off, just like that one just did. They're so rusted out inside that the threads are breaking right off of the pipe. So the problem is that pipe gooseneck is full of rust, and every time we turn on the pivot, more of that rust falls down into the pipe, which goes down to that nozzle down there. And then we are continuously unplugging the nozzles. These are brand new nozzles. We put them on last year. I think they're called iWobs, and they're made by Senninger. And these are a new version of them. We love them. And we put them on here because we were having so much trouble with plugging. And you see here, there's these two little tabs. I can just pinch it and I can pop the nozzle out. And then I can empty the nozzle, clean it, and get it ready to go again. We had to do it because these nozzles were plugging so badly with rust. But we had no idea it was coming from these goosenecks because they're galvanized, same as the pipe. And so we figured it was coming from our main line somewhere, from a riser, because those risers coming up out of the ground over there are steel, and we thought maybe it was rust coming from the pipe. So we paid a bunch of money to put these big filters underneath the pivot point. Well, that made no difference at all. The way we kind of figured it out is we had to shorten one of these pivots just a little bit on the end, and we cut it off, and we could see inside that the pipe was still in perfect condition. And so we knew it had to be something else. And after putting the filter on the pivot, we knew it must be in the pivot somewhere because the filters didn't make any difference. So the goosenecks have been the culprit. So now Heinrich is putting the brand new shiny gooseneck back on, and we'll hang the nozzle on there, and so this year will be the first year in 20 years that we won't have rust plugging up the nozzles on two of our pivots. They were bought the same year. It must have been a bad batch of goosenecks. Then we put a new fitting in the new gooseneck. So we're putting it all back together. So the moral of the story is, if there's anybody out there that has a pivot that keeps plugging nozzles with pieces of rust, they need to check their goosenecks up on top. Just so you are aware, Milwaukee does not pay us to make these videos, but we do like their stuff. We've had a couple of these break off in the pipe, well, 3 on this pivot. That one looks like it's gonna come out. Pull out the bad one, put in the new one. All right, also another bit of Milwaukee equipment. We do use a lot of Milwaukee. Okay, so this is our last one of the day, and it's broken off on us in the pipe.
Look at that rust.
And all the rust. That's gonna be, it is a challenge getting those busted off out of the pipe. We'll see what we can do. Heinrich is very good at this kind of thing, but it's always a little bit scary every time you try to get a broken off bolt or a pipe thread. So this way we hammer in this, what do you think that's called? A bolt extractor?
I think so.
Anyway, some kind of extractor. It's got sharp teeth on the edges of it. We pound it in there and we try to twist it out. The moment of truth. This is the part that makes me nervous. This will be our fourth one today. I mean, on this pivot. Ooh, maybe I'll give you the hammer and straighten it out a little bit. Okay, hold on just a second.
It's going.
It's going. Milwaukee gloves have done it again. Okay, it wasn't the gloves. It was Heinrich. So that little teeny chunk of broken off pipe is just slowly coming out of that hole there. Boy, it's nice to have the right tool. There it goes. You got her. Done. Broken off piece of pipe. That's it. The last nozzle gooseneck we got to put on, and the pivot is all rebuilt. We had 2 pivots we needed to do, and we're excited about a much better year.